It's 8:30 and live from Ontario, California. It's In the Mood with Carl and George.
What's up, guys? My name is Carl from Argueta Films, and I'm joined here today. We're starting our first episode for our podcast called In the Mood, and the hosts are going to be George and I. Basically, the theme of our show is whatever George and I are in the mood of talking about. It's pretty much what we're going to talk about.
Honestly, it can go from movies to music to just like what we have for dinner.
Yeah, so we have a very special episode for our first episode. We're actually joined here with one of my good friends right here, Pako.
Thank you guys for having me. This is really cool.
Right, we have the homie Pako with us, man. Real quick, I've known Pako for a little over a year now. I think I met you. It was at a backyard show in Ontario, and I remember I went there and I was like kind of just cause like I hadn't gone to a show in forever. I felt like I needed to go to a show, and I went and I was watching all the bands. I was like, as I was watching all the bands, I was like, man, I could film these bands and I could start doing all this stuff. And I saw your band, and your band was the one that caught my attention the most, just because you guys had such a wide range in your sound. And that was back when you were with Pako and the Tacos, and remember I went up to you guys and I gave you guys my business card, and then like maybe like 2 or 3, because I remember I fell and I hurt my knee at that, and then I had my knee surgery, and after that, like months later, I was on crutches. I went to go see you guys play at the Lemon Festival.
Yeah,
and that was kind of like where everything like started off from there.
Yeah, that was a pretty interesting show because we actually were supposed to play with our bassist, but then last minute he's like, "Oh, I can't make it because of work." And me and my drummer were just kind of like, "Well, what do we do? Like, this is a really big show. Like, do we just play it, just the both of us?" And he was like, "Yeah." So we just played the both of us.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
Well, for me, I actually met him 30 minutes ago. So, and I gotta say, he's a cool guy.
Right? George, okay, Pako has a thing where like the first time you meet him, you just feel comfortable around him. Where it's like, man, he's a personable guy.
He dresses nice. Can we talk about how nice he's dressing right now? Look at this fit right here. That shirt.
So is that Gucci? You have Gucci on top.
I wish this was Gucci. Actually, not really. I'm not really into like expensive brands or anything. I like going to Ross, TJ Maxx, and all that. You know, like all the
I feel that.
See, everybody thinks you got to look like you got to go to these top name brands and top like stores to get like good clothes. But like, I mean, for example, the other day I went to what is it? Didi's Discount, and I got a shirt. It was like a Hawaiian shirt, and it was like super dope. It has like a little pineapple skull. I was like, dude, I got this at like it's like $6.
Dude, I found some cool finds there, like some shoes for like $10, and I'm like, they're nice.
Right.
And comparatively at other stores, they're like $50, but then I found them for like 10. I'm like, all right, I'm down with this.
Yeah. All right. So just to get into our show a little bit. So I mean, you guys have obviously from what we've talked about so far. Is you guys know Pako is in a band, and Pako is a musician. He's a very talented one at that. So why don't you go ahead, Pako, and tell us a little bit about yourself. So just let the viewers know who you are, man.
I grew up not really like I never had like a family that did music. So I grew up like my background in music, like I never like no one in my family ever did music. And when I started actually like getting into music, which was like in high school, like senior year, it was really like new to my parents. They were kind of just like, oh, like that's cool, like, but they didn't really like believe in me first.
Did they want you to be a doctor or something?
No, every parent, they want you to go to school and whatnot.
Right.
But I just like never really grew up with like music around me like that. Anyone playing music. And then I just kind of just like really enjoyed playing guitar and never really took it seriously until I met a hip hop artist called ARS.
Okay.
And I got introduced to him by my brother, and he came through and he heard me play guitar, and he was kind of like, "Hey, dude, you're really good. Like, you should play with me." And I was like, "All right, cool." And like we kind of did like 2 shows. It was just like me and him. I was just playing guitar in the background. And then from there, that's when I was like, you know what? Like, I really dig this. I think I want to keep doing this. Because one of our shows was, like, really cool. And, like, I just love the feeling of just being on stage and, like, having people just watch you. And then, like, they clap for you and everything. it was really nice. And after that, I started going to a lot of music festivals, and that's when I really saw the impact that music has on people. You know, like when you go to festivals, like these people are really like in like a trance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like it's really cool. Like they make really good memories for people, and they make really good times for people, and like it's a way for people to escape all their problems, you know, in real life. And I just wanted to do that. I wanted to be that person, to be on stage that can put these people in a trance and just really enjoy themselves and leave everything behind and just live in the moment.
And I think that's really cool because, I mean, you look at music today, and a lot of music today is kind of just like, I mean, especially the stuff on the radio, a lot of it is just like about getting money and like, you know, all these like getting girls and all like doing drugs and stuff. But I think it's very rare now to find music that is something that is positive, you know, and something that is like can connect with the audience rather than like, you know, it's more about like, rather than the artist saying like, look what I got, it's like, it's the same as look at what I got, but it's look what I got for you guys, you know, rather than look what I got, like, you know, envy me. I think that's something that's really cool that like, I've noticed about your music is it makes people feel united, especially when, because I've seen you play. Dang, I don't even know how many times I've seen you play now. It's been, it's easily over like 15 times that I've seen you play.
Wow.
I've seen you play a couple of times, but I think every single time that I've seen you play, it's always been the same reaction from the crowd, and it's always like people are feeling themselves. You know, it reminds me a lot of house music, like back in like the early, like late 80s, early 90s. People were like you, because I've gone to see my dad a couple of times when he DJs, and when he's DJing house, like people are like they feel it in them, and they're like getting it, and you see how these people dance sometimes, and it's like, wow, they're really feeling it, man. Like they get into it, and it's funny because like I've seen that at your shows too, and that's very rare, especially for the kind of music that you play. That is rare, like for somebody to like be in the backyard of some random teen's house, like listening to a band play, and they're like, oh my gosh, like I'm connecting with this artist, you know, like because I mean your music is very powerful. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about that. Where would you say some of your influences are in your music, and just like where do you get your sound from? Because obviously your sound is a very unique sound at that. So where does all that come from?
And we're gonna get a preview later throughout the show, but we just want to be able to.
Yeah, that's true. We're actually gonna have a little live performance by Pako, but yeah. So right now, let's just get like a real quick where your influences are and stuff.
I think it started off with 80s hair metal.
Oh.
That's where it started off. And that's why I have a lot of solos.
Is that why you have such nice hair? Like
that, yeah, that's why like I have a lot of guitar solos in my music, because I've always appreciated that about 80s hair metal, is that they like you have to have a solo in a song. And like I've been told that like because people notice that, and I've been told, you know, like, hey dude, like I can tell you get your influences from like kind of like the 80s because of all the solos you do.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy doing all the solos and for all the songs, but other than that, it was like 80s hair metal, and then it just kind of like developed into like more like heavier metal, and then from there I got into indie music. And that's when I started taking music seriously, because that's when I started going to festivals, and it was indie festivals. And that was like a huge eye opener for me. Like I knew that's what I wanted to do, but in a different way, you know, like just mix it up with like certain different aspects, like Latin grooves, and also like, you know, like 80s hair metal. But yeah, that's where it comes from. It's just mostly like 80s metal and like modern indie music.
Yeah, it's funny that you said it, because like there's such a big like gap in between 80s hair metal and heavy metal.
Yeah.
You have like Sepultura and Metallica and all these hardcore like thrash bands, and then you slowly go into like Mac DeMarco and the drums and stuff. So how did that get linked in? Because I mean, it's not like it's the same group of people hanging out with each other. That's obviously
like Metallica fans and Vampire Weekend fans are like, what's up?
The 80s hair metal came from my brother. He's still really into metal. Yeah. And then the indie music came from my friend David, who's actually in a band called DFYH.
Okay.
I was hanging out with him a lot, and he just had a bunch of CDs, and that's when I was like, you know, like I was like, dude, show me music. Like I'm really starting to dig a lot of indie music, and he was like super into indie, and that's when he started showing me a lot of indie music. Like I think one of the first ones was like Shannon and the Clams. And then after that was
That's
like
old school, man.
Yeah, and I was
old
like,
school.
yeah, and then like I think it was like
for
the
those at home who don't
Growlers.
know, they're like in the 90s or something, like
Shannon the Clams. Well, no, I think they're like mid 2000s.
mid 2000s.
Yeah,
Okay.
like around
what
there.
kind of style did they like indie stuff like that or?
Yeah, they're kind of like a surf punk garage sound.
Okay. Just for the clarification for the audience at home.
Yeah.
not me either.
We all secretly know it was for Georgie. Trying to figure it out.
But also.
All right, so going back to just the musical influences, like you were saying, so your brother introduced you to the heavier stuff, like the metal and stuff, and then it was your friend David from DFYH, which is another great band that plays in the backyard scene. They introduced you into the whole indie scene, but I think what you've done, like I was saying earlier, is you have a very powerful way in your music where like a powerful message in your music and stuff. It's kind of like you were saying earlier, like it's something that you've created, and it's something that's different where it's a mixture of like you have the guitar solos from the metal, and then you also have like the vibe of like indie music, but it's your own sound. Because I can honestly say I've never heard another band that has had like your sound, because your sound is your sound, and a lot of these bands, you know, I mean, they're all great musicians, but they sound the same.
Yeah.
And you know, like
they're trying to be some other act.
Yeah,
in some kind of way.
Yeah.
that's a big thing in this scene. Is like everybody wants to sound like the Frights.
Yeah,
you know,
or,
stuff.
Whatever
or Beach
influence-
Fossils,
yeah.
Or like
the
Mac-
Growlers.
Yeah,
you
so
know?
everybody's
yeah,
going
yeah.
for that sound, and I think one of the things that you've accomplished, and you've done it extremely well, is you have a very unique sound.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. That's something I always never really like put too much thought into. It wasn't something like I that was like my goal, or like that's something that I aimed for when I started making music. I wasn't like, oh, I want to make something different. It was just kind of like I went with the flow, and I just kind of it just kind of happened. And then but definitely like the first couple songs that I made like had like no thought into them. It was just kind of just all feeling, and whatever came out. And maybe a little structure in there, but like for the most part, it was just kind of like I was like freeballing it. But now I'm starting to put a lot more thought into the songs that I'm making and the structure that they have and whatnot.
Okay, so yeah, so actually, yeah, let's go into that a little bit. I think you were formerly in a band called Pako and the Tacos, and even in that, you had a very distinct sound, and it was your own sound. But from that band into this new act that you're into, where you know it's your solo act with Pako, with the K, you know, even that is a completely different sound than the sound you had when you were with Pako and the Tacos. You want to kind of like I mean, I know you're saying a little bit of like you've put a little bit more thought and stuff into how your sound is now, but I mean, there's a drastic change in that, and I'm actually really digging your new sound a lot more than I was before.
Oh, well, when I was in Pako and the Tacos, I was actually also making all of the music, so that was like the first couple of songs that I'm saying like I didn't really put too much thought into.
Right.
It was just kind of like all freeballing it, and then as I started progressing as a musician, I knew that I wanted to make a change in my sound, and I had told my bandmates too, like there's gonna be a change, and like I hope you guys like it, you know. But you know, we had some creative differences, like with me and my drummer, and then you know, he ended up leaving, so I didn't want that to stop me, to be honest. I was like, this is not gonna stop me. If anything, this is gonna push me to go forward with my new sound. And I felt like that helped me out a lot. The fact that he kind of left, because I was all on my own, and I just like would lock myself in my room and just make full songs, like everything, bass, drums, you know, the whole deal. And that really helped me shape the new sound that I'm going for now.
Yeah, I really like, because I noticed that difference, because even for a part of the time my brother was playing in your band, so like I saw that. I would call it a growth. I think as a musician, you've definitely grown within the last year. You know, I think not just in your sound, but like in your presence as well too. Like you're like, I mean, like we said earlier, like you're an easy guy to talk to. You're also a really awesome guy to see play live. You know, I think you get really into it, in the way that you perform.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny. I was watching a video on a Vivo the other day, and it was about Carlos Santana's first performance at Woodstock. You know, and it was the same year that that Jimi Hendrix played the Star Spangled Banner.
Jim Crocker, too. Like,
yeah, it was like
yeah,
a great, like it was like the year of Woodstock, where like Woodstock
yeah.
kind of just blew up. You know, there's a bunch of people just being there and stuff. But what was really, really cool about it was Carlos Santana played their first performance there, and it was talking about, like, it's funny, like he dropped acid like before he played that show, and he was just like, he said like the whole time he was playing, like you watch videos of his face, he's like his face is just into it, and he's like super into it, and he's saying, he's like, yeah, I was trying to catch the snake that like my guitar had turned into the whole time while like trying to play the guitar at the same time. But it's funny is that you have, like, you remind me, and it's not just because you're Hispanic. I promise you, it's not just because you're Hispanic.
And George Lopez, too. And George Lopez.
Yeah, I think you have a lot in common with the way that Carlos Santana performs. You know, I think
that's really cool.
Because it's the heart and it's the passion behind playing. Because even though he was high when he was playing that, like, you could see, like, there's certain musicians where, like, because, I mean, I filmed a lot of bands in the past, you know, and it's funny, I started with you. You were one of the first bands I filmed, but from that time to now, I've filmed multiple bands, and some of them are just like, man, these guys are performers, and they do an amazing job. And some of the other bands, you know, it's sadly to say, like, they're kind of boring to watch, you know, and their sound is great. Like, a lot of these guys are, like, very talented, but they're not performers.
They don't have charisma or anything.
Yeah, you know, they carry themselves in a really, like, certain where it's kind of just like their sound is not monotone, but their body language is monotone, where it's kind of just sitting there like strumming away and kind of stuff. When, as in you guys in your performances, it's like, I mean, you get on your knees, and then you're playing the guitar, and I'm surprised you haven't played with your mouth yet, like on the guitar stuff. but you get, I mean, you've put in, like, just in your performance, you could tell there's a lot that goes into your performance. And I just, a question for you is that like something that comes natural? Is it something you practice in your room or in your bathroom, just like performing for yourself? Or is
in the shower?
Yeah, in the shower, just like getting at it? Or like, is it something that comes natural to you?
At first, yeah, kind of. I would like move around, like our first shows. I was moving around, not as much as I do now. I actually did research on it. I actually like wanted to like know more about that because I knew that was like an important aspect of performing. So I actually did like my research to kind of like I looked on YouTube, like, you know, like what should you do like as a frontman, you know? Right. And like there's some pretty interesting things. Like one of them was kind of like this guy was like a tip of like try to make yourself like wide. Like keep your like legs, like, you know how like Slash when he plays he keeps his like legs like wide open, like that was like a tip, like I don't know. And then there's some other guy who like a tip was like he brings like kind of like a stool to every show to make himself taller.
Okay.
Yeah, so like
that's
I don't know, it was weird. And then like also when you're singing like and playing guitar, when you're not singing on the mic, like do something else. Like because there's a lot of people who like they're singing and playing guitar, and when they're not singing they're just still like there, you know. And that's like an important thing to do, is like when you're not singing, like do something else, move your guitar, step back, move to the side, do something, you know.
Yeah,
I remember I was watching an interview with Young the Giant, like they're like an indie band and stuff like that. They were talking about like, yeah, for our tour we're watching James Brown videos. And the lead singer's like, yeah, I'm learning dance moves from James Brown. And just do different moves out there. And I saw him live, and I saw him doing that. And I was just like, that's cool. It was something different that you didn't really see him do, because he was wearing a jumpsuit and he was dancing like James Brown upstage. Yeah. And just like, it was interesting and new. So I think that's really cool. Like, keep it interesting.
It's talking about like you're saying you were watching videos, and like you're also saying like different performers watch like videos of other like performers. It reminded me of have you ever seen Tenacious D? Like, he's going through like the whole like little school with Kyle Gass and the Kyle Gass project, and he's trying to like get a part of that. He's like practicing the knee slides. Like, yeah, that's just what it reminded me of. They're like throwing the beer bottles at him. He has a helmet on.
Trying to dodge him, just like.
That's funny. All right. I lost my train of thought there.
Oh, wow.
All right,
You like Wendy's?
So, obviously now that like you're in your new band, I know you've put out, at least from the last time that I saw, you have put out 2 new songs with Pako, just Pako, right?
Yeah.
So, do you plan on releasing any music soon, or like a full EP or album anytime soon, or is it going to consistently be like singles?
No, yeah. I put out 2 singles just to like keep people entertained, because like I said, I was working on a EP, which was originally gonna be 5 songs, and then that's when like my drummer left, and that kind of like inspired me to like make a full album by myself. So that's why like it went from 5 songs to 11. So pretty much that's taken a while, because like I'm doing everything by myself, and then like I was doing it with very like limited equipment.
Mm-hmm.
So like I didn't even have like drum mics or anything. Like I had like probably like 2 mics to work with, and like a 2-channel interface. So it was pretty limited to what I could do. But like I pretty much like recorded all the songs and everything, and then I recently bought drum mics. So that was like kind of like something kind of like I recorded a song with the new drum mics, and I realized I was like, all right, I have to re-record all the drum tracks now, because like with the new mics it sounds so much better, and I was like, it's gonna be a pain to go back and retrack all this, but it's gonna be worth it for the sound.
Oh, cool.
So that's coming soon, but I'm just working on it still.
That's exciting, man. I mean, like, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think it's gonna take time. Obviously, like you're saying, like just getting everything ready and putting things together to get your album out. But dude, that's awesome. You know that you're able to do this, especially like how much work you've put into like on your own. You know, like a lot of it's hard for a lot of people to like do their own, like kind of like produce themselves and everything. You know, not just in like making the music, but recording the music, putting out the music, advertising their own music and stuff. So I think that's really cool that you've been able to do that almost all alone, I would say, right?
Yeah.
That's talent, man. That's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard to do. That's crazy.
Like a modern Beethoven over here.
Right?
Yeah. Just all that music over here.
The modern day Frank Sinatra.
And Dave Franco.
That's cool, man. All right, dude. So you recently had a show on this past Friday. You want to talk a little bit about that? Just like, what was the show for? Like, just kind of like, how did it end up going? Because I know, because I was there, I know how it went. But I want you to tell the audience how, because it went awesome. I loved it. But
yeah, it was really random. It came out of nowhere. I went to a show, and I talked to a friend, and he was telling me how he was looking for a house because he wanted to throw a show for his friend Mitchell. And Mitchell, he does a lot of professional sound for a lot of backyard shows, and he does it at a very affordable cost. But you know, like some of these shows get really crazy. So a lot of, these kids like mess up his stuff and break his stuff without realizing, because they're getting so crazy. And so that's pretty much what we were trying to do, is just raise money for him so he could buy new equipment, so that he can keep doing what he's doing, because he's doing a really good job at what he's doing, So like pretty much that's what we did. We just wanted to raise money for him, and then we only had like a week and a half notice to kind of just spread the word. So it was really like stressful, because we had to find 12 bands, but we ended up having only 11. Yeah, and it was like super short notice. I bought a lot of decorations, like all like last minute. I bought a lot of stuff last minute, but it all worked out, and we actually raised $300 for him. So he was super happy with that, because he was like, dude, like this is gonna help me out with something. Like I don't know what I'm gonna buy yet, but he's like, this is gonna help me out with something.
Do you think that you're gonna do more fundraisers like that in some kind of way? Or
yeah, I've always liked doing benefit shows just to help people out, because it just shows people, that you're doing it more than like, it's more than just like doing the music. Because like obviously like he's in a band called Seb Blasters, and we both wanted to play that show, just because we enjoy playing shows. So that's why we did it, because we wanted to play the show. But then we also did it to support someone, to support someone and like doing and like helping out people, because he does help out a lot of people, and people don't really realize that it's him. Like people just like go to these shows and they don't really like notice that he's doing sound or that he's doing all this stuff for the scene. And we kind of wanted to make that a point to these people with that show, was that like this guy is helping out a lot of people, and we need to like support him in what he's doing. So let's raise some money for this guy so he can buy some equipment and keep doing what he's doing. Because he loves what he does. Like I worked with him in that show, and like he loves what he does. He came through super professional, set up sound for 2 stages, brought lights for 2 stages, and it was amazing.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like you were saying earlier, like how much goes in like behind the scenes. With throwing a show, everybody thinks it's like, find a backyard and there's your back show. That's your show right there, right? You just need a backyard and a couple bands and it's set. But I know Mitchell too, and I've seen Set Blasters play a couple of times as well, and he does do a lot at these shows. And I think I would say because I don't even know how many shows I've been to. It's been a lot, but of the majority of the shows that I've been to, I think Mitchell's the one running the sound in most of them. He's usually like at every show, and it's not always only shows that he's playing at, but it's like any show that like most of them he's running the sound and stuff. So it's really cool that you guys were able to like shout him out and kind of get people like aware of what he's doing and stuff. Because honestly, without a sound guy for this, we don't even know where we'd be.
Shout out to Chris Argueta Sr., who has been helping us today.
We are blessed and fortunate that my father has his own radio station. We're able to do something like this. Shout out.
Shout out
to check out deepsoulradio.com if you want to hear your local house music. Throw us down on there, man. All right.
Transition to maybe before.
Yeah, you guys want to talk about some other stuff? What do you want to talk about? So Wendy's has a 4 for $4 menu, and they have they started off with like 2 or 3 sandwiches that you could pick from.
Yeah.
Now they have like 15 or something. What's your go-to?
I know earlier I said the crispy chicken sandwich, but I think I'm gonna have to go with the double. The double stack.
Oh, the double stack
with
the square patties.
Yeah.
We can go on BuzzFeed right now, find like a quiz about that. Be like, which chicken patty are you? Oh.
That's funny. Yeah. Dude, I love the spicy chicken. I love because actually I think that's only the nuggets, but the nuggets are the
they actually don't have those anymore.
They don't?
They don't.
They don't have that?
And it's really disappointing because a lot of people enjoy those. I enjoyed those, but they took them off. I haven't seen them on the menu for like a while.
Because what those reminded me of was like high school lunch. Mm-hmm. The little like in the blue foil, you get the spicy chicken sandwich.
Oh, yeah,
that's what it reminded me of, and I was like, damn,
they're like
nostalgic.
Yeah. I get that. Sometimes like it's hard and you're like eating a sponge or something.
Yeah. But it's like it's memories.
It is memories.
They taste good because
it's the go-to memories. College meal, man. You're like, oh, I have $1. All right, I'm gonna buy spiky chicken right now.
All right. So what's your go-to fast food restaurant and your go-to like I'm ballin' restaurant?
It's gonna be.
And what do you order there?
It's between Little Caesars or Wendy's, to be honest. It's Little Caesars or Wendy's for fast food, and then when it comes down to like ballin', Applebee's. Applebee's has to be it.
2 for $20.
2 for $20.
That's the half off on appetizers. That's what I go for.
That actually transitioned us to one of our segments we're going to get to. Is the new IHOP controversy over here.
Oh, yeah.
You guys want to talk about that?
What do you think about that?
So you guys are going to have to fill me in, to be honest, because
okay.
I've seen it on social media, but I haven't really paid close attention to it.
Right. Okay. So I'm on CNN right now, and so I think I can just like give you the gist of what's going on. So basically, IHOP, they started off with like being International House of Pancakes. You guys know. You guys have seen it. If you haven't been there, you've seen it. Whatever. And then they're like, okay, we're gonna reveal our new name. We're gonna be IHOP, and people were like, oh, it's International House of Breakfast. That makes sense. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like they have waffles, they have pancakes. They don't want to be just solely based in pancakes, but they want to be everything else. But then they're like, no. We're not International House of Breakfast. We're International House of Burgers. And everybody's like,
what?
Why? Like there are so many burger places in the universe that like it people got really upset and up in arms on Twitter and just all over the place. So what is your thoughts on that? Do you think that's a smart move? Like
so they changed it, like their name, like at restaurants now it's a B.
Yeah, they flipped the B.
They did that.
Yeah, they actually did.
And
that.
There's like a store in like Georgia, I think that like flipped it like to a B.
I don't.
But like it's not IHOP anymore. Like IHOP makes sense. Like okay, I hop to go get breakfast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they've been IHOP for so long. that you just know them for that, and it's not it's not a bad thing to know them by. Like, their pancakes are great. I think they're better than Denny's. But like, but I don't know, man. I just think it's more catchy too.
I think pancakes are such like a niche thing too, because like you said, there's Denny's, and that's why people love Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, because there's like waffles and chicken there specifically. But you say, oh, we're gonna serve burgers only. It's like, okay, like why? Like what other restaurant doesn't serve burgers out there? There's like In-N-Out. There's like McDonald's. Like, you can go down the list of more burger places than pancake place. So that's, it's
funny, because when I saw it on Instagram that like IHOP was changing to IHOB, that like I thought it was a joke, dude. Like,
April Fools.
Even talking about it now, I'm like really? Like, it's like this is, and I didn't feel like it would be that big of a deal until like because we went to and I went to Hollywood to go film the aerial view at the Roxy, and when I was driving home, we passed by an IHOP, and there was like, it's not like that they replaced the P with the B. They completely took out the P because they hadn't replaced it yet. So it was just IHOP. And like, there's no P and there's no B, and I was like, and part of me felt like my childhood died right there. Because it was like, dang, dude, that's like,
Toys R Us is also gone too. So like, I don't know what it is.
I've seen one actually recently. There's one like if you're going to San Diego, on the I think it's the 215. Or,
which one? It's in Riverside or something? Or?
No, it's like you're going towards San Diego. It's not in Riverside.
Oh, like the 15. The 15.
Well, recently they went out of business like completely.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So,
that's
actually, like,
damn.
I saw on Instagram. It was funny because there was like, there's posts where it's like, how like their old commercials like where a kid like never grows up. They had like posts on all the ones that they were closing, and it was like, I guess kids really do grow up. And I was like,
savage. Like, there was a post I saw that like, have you guys seen Infinity War?
Yeah.
Like, have you seen Infinity War?
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoilers for Infinity Wars, by the way, if you have not.
Oh, we're
seen
gonna lose viewers with that.
I know, right?
But
I mean, it's been out for 2 months. I mean, come on, if you haven't seen it at this point. Well, like they show like the giraffe, like he's like by the airport, he's like fading away, just like they did in Infinity War. I was like, oh, too soon.
All right. Well, I think
we got the sound guy over here laughing.
Yeah, no. So we've been going on for a while now. It's been honestly, it's been a pleasure having you here, Pako. Just being able to talk. I mean, about IHOB and Wendy's and Toys R Us. But most important, I think it was a pleasure talking to you about your music and just about your journey and how far you've come. Because I think, looking at you right now, you are definitely creating a name for yourself in the right way, and rising up in a way that's like, dude, I see a bright future ahead for you.
Thank you.
And I'm really excited to see kind of where that comes, because like I said earlier, the first show that I ever filmed was a show for you, and you guys did an amazing job then. But I think seeing where you're at now, it's like you have grown so much as an artist, man. And I think as your friend, as somebody, it's really encouraging and really cool to see like your friends grow up. Like grow like that, and I think, because I mean, you look at bands like the Red Pears and the High Curbs, like like I went to those shows too, but like, and they were cool. I mean, they're great guys too. I've talked to both bands, but like, they're not like, they weren't like my friends before, and I think now seeing like my friends like start making it, I was like, dang, that's awesome, So it makes me really happy for you, man. Just to see how much you've grown since then. So I'm really looking forward to see just the whole new journey that you've had come out for you, because it's been pretty awesome so far, man. It's been an awesome ride. So
thank you.
It sounded really good. Yeah.
All right, so I know we were gonna do an acoustic set, but for some reason none of us have acoustic guitars, so we're gonna do a little solo set with you and your guitar, right?
Yeah.
All right, so do you want to just before you play it, you want to introduce the songs that you're gonna be doing, and then or let's say you want to do like 2 songs.
I can do 2 songs.
Yeah. All right, yeah. So we're
cool.
Yeah, go ahead, man. The stage is yours. Like,
this is a podcast
I'm gonna
exclusive.
start off with a song called "Oh Brother," that used to be. Well, I played this song with Pako and the Tacos, but I don't know. I just love the song so much that I wanted to bring it into the new project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, before you play it, part of me, man, like I didn't want to tell Pako what songs to play, because he's a smart man. You know, he has his whole layout and everything. But I'm actually really excited that he's playing "Oh Brother" because the first time I heard that song play was the first time you guys played at the Smell. You know, and I went to go film you guys there, and you guys played "Oh Brother," and I remember, I mean, I had seen you guys because I've seen you guys play so many times, and it was like I knew your whole like lineup in my head. I was like, yeah, they're gonna play this song, this song, this song. It's like at every show, and they kill it every time. You know, it's awesome. And then like
number one fan over here,
right?
Fan club,
oh yeah, right.
Like
and,
fan club.
And I was filming, and I remember while I was filming, like Pako was like, this next song, you know, it's something we're working on. It's called "Oh Brother," and I was like, what? It's like a change in the system, like there's new music being made, and then like you played it, and I remember it was
structure,
like,
no.
Yeah. I was like, I remember hearing it there, and then I was like, man, this is an awesome song. But the reason why I wanted to have you perform too was when you came to an event with me in my church, and you one of my friends had a guitar there, and we were just hanging out, and you played "Oh Brother," but you played an acoustic version, and dude, it was like. It was one of those moments where you felt like crying. That
was cool, yeah. I remember this little girl even came up.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? This little girl came up to like watch me play that song.
Yeah, it was our campus minister's daughter.
Oh, Elle?
Yeah, it was Elle. So she
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, because you were
she starts
playing,
like bobbing her head like, yeah.
Because Pako, like, because one of our friends had his guitar, and Pako was like, yeah, like, or he handed the guitar to Pako. He's like, you want to play anything? Because like, you know, I had told my friends like, yeah, you know, he's in the band. And he played "Oh Brother," and it wasn't rehearsed. It wasn't like you know,
it was a raw version.
It was a completely like he just picked up the guitar and started and played it like straight through. And it was like, you know, Elle ended up coming up, and for those of you who don't know, Elle's our minister's daughter, and she's like, what, 4 years old, and she comes up, and like her mom was like, you can say hi, like say hi, and she just got like so red.
Yeah.
And I've seen like,
it was the cutest thing.
I've seen grown women do that at his shows now. I've seen grown women act how Elle acted, and I was like, dang, it's not just, you know, these girls fangirling over Pako. It's his music has that energy.
You're gonna get a crayon fan letter. Hey, Pako.
Yeah, but it's funny. You. Like, and I'm not joking when I say that. Like, I've seen from age range of 4 years old, you know, feel that energy from Pako's music, and I've seen 20 to like 25-year-olds feel that same energy.
Nice.
So I'm excited to hear "Oh Brother" and all your music, man. I love all your music. So you're gonna be playing "Oh Brother," and what do you think the second song you play, Lee?
The second one's gonna be a surprise. I feel like I'm just gonna go with the flow and see what I'm feeling.
This is a podcast exclusive again.
Little angle. Damn, I'm gonna be like making eye contact with you. It's gonna be super special.
I feel like the song is dedicated to me, especially.
Can I get like all the reverb you can give me on this? Nah, I'm just kidding.
I want smoke everywhere.
Can we get the fog machines ready?
Laser light show, please.
The little light show.
All right, here we go. Didn't wait for me last time, didn't think it was fair. That's right, don't you call me again at 9, make me understand why I can't let you go, but I can't let you go. I fight our foolish love one more time. One more time, one more time, one more time, one more time. Oh, brother, how will you treat her? Oh, brother, how will you love how you treat her, oh brother, when she comes your way. I remember what I said, it was completely true. I love you, but I have to go a place where I can clear my mind. When I return, I'll start all over. You'll be my lover. Oh brother, how you treat her, oh brother, how you love her, oh brother, how you treat her, oh brother, when she comes your way, comes your way, comes your way, oh yeah. She comes your way, she comes your way, she comes your way, she comes your way, oh yeah. There you go.
Applause right there. That's so beautiful, man. I love that song.
I've never had a personal concert like that.
Right. That was awesome, man. That was a great job. All right, man. Hit it with the second song.
All right, this one's gonna be released soon. This one's actually gonna be the title track. This one's gonna be the title track to the album I'm gonna be releasing. It's called "Tame the Sun." On the album, I actually did it. I had Bell City Players feature on it. So Bell City Players is this really cool band from Riverside that does like a lot of cool covers, but they also do originals, and they're like super good. And I had the singer come in, and he just did like a fantastic job on the song. So I'm really excited to release it. So I'm gonna release that as a single when I release the album, and then I'm gonna sell some physical copies of the album, and then after that, that's when I'm gonna like release the album on Spotify and,
So this is an
and all that
exclusive.
stuff. Yeah.
Exclusive, wow.
But I've been playing this song at the shows.
Cool.
So yeah, it's really cool. And we like, I just love playing this song with them, with my band. Radiant light pierces my skin, unconscious mind lies within. Love burns as hot as the sun. A broken heart still weighs a ton. If you didn't know, I followed you into the sun. Bet you didn't know I followed you into the sun. If you didn't know, I followed you into the sun. Bet you didn't know I followed you into the sun. I followed you. Radiant light pierces my skin. Unconscious mind lies within. Love burns as hot as the sun. A broken heart still weighs a ton. Oh yeah. If you didn't know, I followed you into the sun. If you didn't know, I followed you into the sun. If you didn't know, I followed you into the sun. If you didn't know, I followed you into the sun. I followed you. They say there's plenty of time. Of this time, there just isn't enough. They say there's plenty of time. Of this time, there just isn't enough. Thank you.
Oh, are we back alive? Hello.
Back on. Testing. All right, cool. Dude, amazing job, Pako.
Thank you.
Awesome job, brother.
I heard a lot of Strokes influences in that first song. Is that a big influence?
Yeah, it is. That was probably one of the main indie bands.
Right.
That was like a huge influence on me.
Dude, that's tight. I was a big fan of them when I was in high school, so like I love them. They're great.
Yeah, I got into them super late, and it's funny
Same.
because everyone tells me that they're like, "Oh yeah, that's so high school," and I was like, "Well, I was into '80s hair metal at the time."
What album? Where did you kind of get into?
The first album that I bought was Room on Fire.
Room on Fire. Okay.
I remember buying that album at Amoeba in LA.
I started getting into it when Angles came out. I mean, when Angles came out in 2011. Something wrong with the mic. Oops. Hello. We're back. So yeah, Angles came out, and then I was like, well, where have I been? I've been sleeping on these people. What the heck? And so like,
yeah.
I love them. They're great. I haven't seen them live yet, but they're great.
Oh, I've seen them live, dude. That it was.
How many times have you seen them live?
Once, and that's all it took.
Amazing. Wow. Yeah. Dude, dope. Yeah,
That's awesome, man.
I love it.
Well, yeah, yeah, dude. I love hearing you play, Pako. You're a homie, man. It's awesome. It's always a pleasure seeing you play. I think we're gonna start wrapping it up here, but we'll give you a little bit of time right here to just shout out anything that you're working on right now. I know we talked a little bit about the album you're working on, but any upcoming shows that you want to shout out, or yeah, anything. I mean, the stage is yours. Talk about whatever you want, and yeah, go ahead. Just you can say it into that camera right there.
Well, Tame the Sun is going to be coming out soon, hopefully. I am going to take my time on it, though. And then as for recent shows, I have a show on July 7th, which I'm going to do with Mitchell, by the way. Yeah, he's throwing that show, so that was really cool that he invited me to that show. That was I'm looking forward to working with him again because like it was really fun working with him. I really enjoy working with that guy. He's super professional and he knows a lot. He's very knowledgeable with like all like it takes to make a show sound good. You know,
that's awesome. All right, guys. Well, I just really want to thank you guys and for tuning in. Those that watch it on Instagram, you know, from the behind the scenes. We're also we're gonna be
literally they see behind the scenes.
Yeah, literally they're staring at our crew and stuff. But we're gonna be having a YouTube release for this probably later on tonight, just so you guys get it from the other perspective of the camera.
Yeah.
And it'll be edited and stuff.
We have a little nice set right here set up, but it's just that, you know.
Yeah, we want you guys to see our little pop figures that we have right here and a little Yoda.
The records and stuff like that. It's really nice. So, well, it's aesthetically.
Yeah, so it'll be really cool. You guys should check out the YouTube version, even if you saw the Instagram version, especially just to get another chance to see Pako's performance again, I think. And then also, any shows that you guys see Pako's name on the lineup, I think take the chance to go see him play. It's always... I don't think you've ever had a bad show. We were talking about that earlier. I don't think you've ever had a bad show. But yeah, if you get a chance to see Pako play, definitely, you know, take that opportunity to go see him play. I wanted to do a real quick shout out. So me and Argueta Films, we were able to do, you know, my crew and I, we made a video for Pako's performance from Friday. And it was me and a couple of my friends. We filmed it. And we're going to be releasing that today. As soon as I'm off of this show, I'm gonna head to my computer and I'm gonna release that exclusively tonight. But yeah, so it's a video of Pako's song "Psychedelic Mushroom Pizza." It's one of my
great name.
PMP. If you don't want to say the whole thing.
I know, right? PMP. So it's a song PMP.
Fantastic name.
So yeah, if you guys want, you know, go ahead check that out. Also, it's one of Pako's performances. Just so you guys get a taste of what it's like live, and. A special shout out to Deep Soul Radio, my father's radio station, who's been an amazing help in everything.
Basically, of
a real quick shout out to my dad. I know obviously this show is not about me. It's, you know, it's about our guests and stuff. But I think my father has helped me tremendously to help me get to where I'm at today, and we're only growing more. I think. You know, a lot of you guys see the videos and the quality and stuff of the videos that I do or the podcasts that we're doing now. I could not have done anything that I've done without that man. So, real quick shout out to my dad.
Round of applause. Can we
yeah, let's get a round of applause for my dad. I don't. This is our first episode. This is the first time one of the first times that I'm in front of the camera. I'm usually behind the camera, so I just wanted to take that time to, you know, shout out my dad, you know, and also a shout out to Pako's brother, Lord Morph on How do you say
D-Morph?
Yeah.
D-Morph.
On Instagram for making these awesome Carl Argueta Films t-shirts. So back up a little bit, George, so you can see it right here. So yeah, so if you guys want one of these shirts, I'm currently out. So I might have to hit up Pako's brother again so we can make them. But dude, these shirts, I mean, it was a pleasure being able to have his brother make these shirts for me. I mean, super awesome guy. If you guys know Pako's brother, you know, Daniel's a really, really, really fun guy to hang out with. So, yeah, thank you again, Pako, for being on this show, brother. Much love to you, man, and to, you know, your career. I can't wait to see where it takes you. But, yeah. Do you want to give a real quick shout-out to anybody before we shut the camera?
My brother, my parents. Sorry I threw a show at the pad while you guys were on vacation.
House party.
But I'm sure you guys would be proud of me when you guys see the video that Carl is going to release later on.
Yeah, it's funny. I've seen your parents at shows, so yeah. I'm sure they'll be super proud of you. But thank you again, guys, for everybody that's going to watch this on YouTube. Also, you know, follow Pako on Instagram. I'm going to put his @ I also put George's @ and myself, our @ from Instagram. So check us out if you want to see more stuff like this. Pako, or George and I are having our show In the Mood. Like I said earlier, it's literally going to be this, and it's whatever George and I are in the mood of talking about.
Next week
Lunch. Is what we're going to talk about. We bounced around a lot today about what we talked about. We talked about IHOB. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Much love from Argueta Films and from In the Mood podcast. And Georgie, you want to say anything before we're out?
Yeah, add me at G Vasquez. When I get big, you guys can know that you were the first followers. Thank you.
All right, thank you guys. That's it.